asked me the other day, like, Logan, what do I do when I know I'm going to the office, I'm trying to get my energy levels back, get in shape, and yet there's so many temptations. Like there's candy inside the boardroom, people are bringing in food at lunch. How am I supposed to navigate that and still be able to drop the extra weight? You have to understand that if you are trying to get your energy levels back, you're trying to, get back in shape and lose that extra weight, that you understand that you don't have to sacrifice everything that you love, including some of the foods that you love in the process. But understand that you do have to be consistent enough with your actions and behavior every single week to be able to get closer to the results that you want. And if you want to do that, consider you've got to be willing to say no more often. Now, the reality is most people, usually that are on the fly, are looking for some kind of convenience, and I get it, right? But most people don't really care about their performance, right? They're just grabbing things on the go without understanding the impact that it's having on their energy levels, how they look and feel. So in order for you to get a different result, then consider you have to do something different than they're willing to do. And that means being willing to say no at least 80 to 90% of the time that you're around unhealthy food choices. I'm not a fan of overly restrictive diets, because the reality is they don't work, or they do work up until the point that they don't. If you're so militant and you don't give yourself flexibility, you're going to be on that for a short term before you go, thank God this is over. So in order to counteract that, you've got to just be willing to say no 80 to 90% of the time. And then that other 10 to 20% within your week, that's when you can, have a nice family event, right? Where you go to and go, you know what, I've been really on point. Now I can enjoy this. Or if you go out with, on a Friday with a colleague, if you've been on point all week, okay, now you can enjoy a little bit, right? You've just got to be willing to have trade-offs and say no to situations in terms of unhealthy choices 80 to 90% of the time. Don't get it twisted though. It doesn't mean you have to say no to certain events, right? We don't want you living life like a hermit. Go to these events, but when you're there, be mindful and say, okay, did I stay on point, or am I on point, on track with my behaviors and actions that are going to get me closer to where I want to go? If you are, then I encourage you to stay there and say, you know what, I'm going to hold off on this now until Saturday. And if you're not, and you've already kind of slipped up, that's okay. You can focus on while you're there, go, you know what, I'm not going to grab these donuts in the conference room. I'm going to go ahead and hold off on those for now. Understand, the more you're willing to say no now to those temptations, the more you get to say yes to the real thing that you want.